So you all have mentioned this roll number, PG registration number, ABC ID, that all common features you all are using it. No? First chapter, paper code, dissertation title, and yes, you can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's my topic is existential anxiety and psychological fear in waiting for Godot and the birthday party. This chapterization and chapter 1 introduction. So, this post-war drama present fear and anxiety as a permanent condition of modern existence rather than temporary emotions. So, uh, uh, I have gone through the two texts, Samuel Beckett's The Waiting for Godot, and the second one is the Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party, and the both published in after the World War II. So the post-war drama present the fear and anxiety among the people, and at that time, this anxiety and fear and trauma is permanent condition, not existence rather than the temporary emotions, and traditional beliefs, moral systems, and humanistic values collapse, producing uncertainty and existential insecurity in literature and philosophy. So this study focus in the two texts, particular the Samuel Beckett's The Waiting for Godot, and the second is Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party. And as a key post-war dramatic text, the research argues that existential anxiety and psychological fear operates together, shaping characters' experience of uncertainty, identity crisis, and powerlessness. And it also compares the Bucket's work Absurd Theater and the Pinter's Theater of Menace to understand different dramatic representation of fear. And dramatic techniques such as silence, repetition, and ambiguity express modern uncertainty and psychological tension. This is the hypothesis that Waiting for Godot and the birthday party dramatize fear not as a response to concrete threats, but as a fundamental condition of a modern existence, where existential anxiety and psychological fear operate together and producing character trapped in uncertainty, loss of identity, and powerlessness. And these are the research questions. How do Waiting for Godot and birthday party portray fear as ongoing condition of existence rather than response to identifiable danger? In what ways do existential anxiety and psychological fear intersect and reinforce each other in the experience of character in the both plays? How are uncertainty, fragmented identity, and powerlessness theoretically represented through dialogue, silence, and dramatic form in the two texts? And what kind of the similarities and differences can be identified in the both the works? These the objectives. So chapter 2 is about the literature review. Chapter 2 reviews theoretical and critical studies related to existential anxiety and psychological fear in modern drama. It discusses the existential philosophy, which explain anxiety as a fundamental condition of human existence arising from freedom, uncertainty, and lack of fixed meaning. It examines psychological theory, psychoanalytic theory, which interprets fear as a result of unconscious conflict, repression, and psychological tension. And also, this chapter study on theater of the absurd and post-war drama, showing how dramatic techniques like a silence, repetition, ambiguity, fragmented dialogues express existential anxiety on a stage, and then demonstrate that fear in modern drama is not always physical but often psychological and existential, emerging through silence, ambiguity, and unresolved situations. So overall, the review established the theoretical foundation combining existential philosophy, psychoanalytic, and dramatic criticism for analyzing fear, anxiety in the selected plays. This is the research gap that despite extensive scholarship on a Waiting for Godot and the birthday party, exciting existing criticism largely threads existential anxiety and psychological fear as a separate analytic categories. There is a limited integrated analysis that examine how abstract existential anxiety is transformed into embodied psychological fear through dramatic form. Moreover, the mediating role of theater techniques and such as the silence, repetition, interrogation, studies in shaping this transformation remain underexplored. Most studies focus either on a thematic concern or character psychology, rarely addressing the simultaneously operation of fear across character consciousness, dramatic structure, and audience experience. Uh, chapter 3 is about the existential anxiety and dramaturgy of fear in the Waiting for Godot. So examine how the play presents waiting as a central metaphor for human existence, where Vladimir Anstragon endless expectations of Godot symbolizing humanity's search for meaning in an uncertain and purposeless world. So as we all know that how Vladimir and Estragon has endless expectation, endless hope that Godot will come. And this chapter discuss the play cyclical structure of repetitive action, repetitive dialogue, showing how the absence of progress creates a sense of temporal stagnation of reinforces existential uncertainty. Well, shall we go? Yes, let's go. But they do not move. So these kind of dialogues continuously repeated in the text. It also analyzes the breakdown of language and communication, where fragmented dialogues, repetition, and silence reveal the inability of language convey stable meaning or resolves the human anxiety. We always find something ADD to give us the impression we exist. So this study further explore identity instability and memory failures, demonstrating how the character confusion about past event reflect the fragility of selfhood in an absent and unpredictable world. It examines the power dynamics between Pozo and Lucky, which symbolize domination, dependence, and human vulnerability within social relationship. It explored the chapter that symbolic role of Godot. Godot represent the hope, meaning, or salvation. Yet his continuous absence reinforces the uncertainty and we can say absurdity of human expectation. The boy's message repeatedly postpone his arrival, emphasizing the endless cycle of waiting. So as boy convey the message that Mr. Godot told me to tell you he won't come this evening, but surely tomorrow. The chapter highlights Beckett's dramatic technique, silence, poses, minimal actions, circular structure, which transform philosophical ideas of existential anxiety and theoretical experience. So, overall, the Waiting for Godot portrays fear not as a physical threat, but as a psychological and existential condition expressed through waiting, uncertainty, fragmented identity, and the collapse of communication in modern human life. My chapter 4 is about the psychological fear and the theater of menace in Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party. So, chapter examine how Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party transform existential anxiety into psychological fear through instruction, interrogation, and ritual domination. The arrival of Goldberg and Macon disrupts Stanley's fragile existence to create a threatening atmosphere where power operates through intimidation and ambiguity rather than direct violence. This Stanley already suffered from existential insecurity before the arrival of the visitors. Living in isolation at Meg's boarding house, he attempts to hide from society and avoid responsibility. His fear of outsider, or you can say strangers, reveal his fragile identity and the anxiety about the outside world. Goldberg and Macon represent mysterious authority figure whose power remain unexplained. Their interrogation of Stanley demonstrate how authority can impose guilt and domination through psychological pressure. So this kind of question that why did you leave the organization? Why did you betray us? And then analyze that language becomes a tool of violence rather than communication. During the interrogation scene, Stanley is bombarded with absurd and contradictory question that destroy his ability to respond logically, undermine his identity. After the interrogation and the chaotic party scene, Stanley becomes incapable of coherent speech and lose his sense of identity. His transform into silent and passive figure symbolize the destruction of individual autonomy under the oppressive authority. So this kind of question that what makes you think you exist, you are dead, you can't live, you can't think, you can't love. So continuously interrogation happen with the Stanley Weber. And the chapter concludes the Pinter portrays fear as a permanent condition of modern life. Through Stanley's psychological breakdown, the play reveals how individual in modern society experience anxiety, unstable identity, and domination by unseen system of power. This conclusion finding this in Waiting for Godot, anxiety exists before any dramatic incidents. In the birthday party, Stanley psychological vulnerability precedes Goldberg and Mecon's arrival. External threat merely activates internal instability, and then existential anxiety and psychological fear. That one condition, the contribution is proving that these are not separate categories but mutually reinforcing forces, and existential groundlessness enable psychological terror. Then Beckett versus Pinter, we can find that Beckett works through subtraction, while Pinter works through inversion, like a perverting domestic into menace. Both refuse catharsis and resolution, and limitations that only two text analyzed predominantly text centered approach, limited attention to performance and feminist post-colonial perspectives, and scope that performance-based studies, broader comparative analysis, and engagement with Lacanian theory and affect theory are recommended directions. This is the bibliography. Thank you.
So, which part of psychological fear you are dealing with?
In the character,
You refer to Sigmund Freud. Freud.
Yes,
But,
this is
which idea of that fear that Freud has talked, which you are using here?
this theory, psychoanalytic theory, I have gone through by the Freud. So,
So
this
you have to
theory,
give quotations. You refer to the origin and developments of psychoanalysis, but that idea where originally it is coming and how it is written, that should be
quotation
given
by,
as a
this
quote.
Freud.
Quote
Yes.
from the
Okay.
this theoretical framework. Not only general things that repression and unresolved trauma produce neurotic symptoms and anxiety, but what actually is written there. How is it written by Sigmund Freud? That you have to bring as a quote. For both, two theoretical frameworks you are using, existentialism and psychoanalysis.
Yes.
So for both, you have to bring the quotations from
Original quote. Yes.
the primary text which you are using for your theoretical framework. Text should be italicized or in single inverted comma, wherever. This is for everybody. Wherever the text comes, the title of the text italicized or in single inverted comma, uniformly should be mentioned. Parenthesis citations, I am still not able to get in chapter 1. Have you seen that? Parenthesis. Whatever works you are citing should be in parenthesis within the text. This also everybody see that. Whichever work you have cited should be in the parenthesis also. If you do these two things separately, then there will always be confusion. If wherever you are using parenthesis in the text, the same way if you auto-generate references or work cited, then that error will not come. Then whatever you have used in parenthesis, that only will come. But if you do the separate work, then there will always be confusion. So you have to see that you use, in Word, they give the automatic system where you can auto-generate reference list. But when you do parenthesis work, you make an entry of that. So you get automatic work, and there won't be any work which is not cited inside. That way you can easily get. But if you do it manually, then some errors will always be there. Something will be in the work cited, but not in parenthesis. That link you will have to see. Quotations from primary text also you have to add.
Yes.
That also you have to put in this. Okay, next one.